Freddie Hendricks to be one. You know, probably the greatest, or I'll go with one of the greatest. He invested the most in me, I'd say. I mean, almost 10, 12 years of my life. He trained actors, singers, dancers. I used to do art. That was my thing. I played 6 instruments in 10th grade.
Really?
But yes. So he took me in at 13 and said, "You've got something special. I want to help harness it. I want to help you shape it." And he's the one that first taught me. I mean, besides my parents, but really, he was really the first one that taught me that greatness was in me.
Hey, Youth Worker Nation, this is Doug Edwards with Youth Worker on Fire, and today I have a really incredible guy, Sam Collier, who is with me from Atlanta, Georgia. And Sam has his own radio podcast, and he is, well, you know what? He texted me Monday, found out that he was in London, and we still couldn't get together. I sent him something on a text, and he wrote me right back a few days later, and he said, "By the way, I'm in Orlando." So here we are at Eustis High School doing a podcast. By the way, this podcast is here because God just finally broke me down. He just broke me down to the place that I'm going, I'll do anything. What do I need to do?
Yeah.
You know, what's next?
No, I mean, 100%. And sometimes it's just as simple as giving him our lives, right? I mean, I've seen God take the worst of the worst and turn them into the best.
Well, tell me, okay, because that's transition. Let's do, what was your worst ministry moment? What was your worst life moment? Be as specific as you can, because people relate better with our worst moments than they do our best moments.
Right.
We're going to do best too, but go ahead. Give me your worst.
It was I think it was Jeannie Mayo that said to me, you know, people connect through your weaknesses. And you lead from your strengths. And so she was like, don't be afraid to be vulnerable and communicate that you are imperfect just like everybody else. And so I'm agreeing with what you're saying. I would have to say, you know, my darkest ministry moment, and you know, this is just it's such a catch-22. It's such a unfortunate situation, because this was a leader that I loved and changed my life dramatically. Which I won't say his name, but I know people that know me will know. But I was over young adults, college, high school, middle school, praise teams, choirs, bands, and environments. A little bit of youth strategy at a 25,000 member black church in Atlanta, Georgia. We had a scandal that came out, and we dropped from 25,000 down to 3,000 in 1 year. And there were some guys on television saying some different things related to the pastor, and I knew the guys, and this was my, you know, in the time, you know, we used the term, you know, spiritual father at the time, you know. I have since evolved in my theology around certain things, but at the time, he's my spiritual father. He's the one I got saved under. And so here I am between a rock and a hard place. I'm leading what is now called millennials. And you know, they're trying to figure, you know, did he do it, did he not do it, all these different, you know, and I'm like, well, you know, I've never seen him do anything bad to me, and you know, he's changed my life, and then my friends are on television, and you know, and I'm in this ministry that has changed my life dramatically as well, and it is, you know, we're losing our reputation, we're doing all these different things, and God, what is happening? And my leader is depressed, you know. And I don't know if you've ever been around a depressed leader or a hurt leader, but you know, it can be one of the darkest places you ever be, just because they're not themselves. And so,
and if they're there and they're my leader,
everything around it. I mean, it was a dark season. I thank God for the fire. I'm not necessarily grateful for my leader going through what he went through, you know, and for even the young men, because I mean, I I wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? And all
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that I was grateful for any of that, but I am grateful that God allowed for me to go through a fire. Because I think as a leader, you learn more in the fire than you do when it's all great. You know, I think even for our youth pastors out there, you know, you learn more when you don't have any money. You're trying to build a program than you do when you have everything, because you get creative. You figure out what's in you. You figure out where your drive is. You know, you learn more about leadership when you're dealing with a student who's considering suicide than you do just with a student that's just perfect. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yes. Yeah.
So that was a dark moment for me, man. And I you know, after that, I'm at North Point. You know, so
which is crazy transitions. All black church, 25,000 down to 3,000. Almost all white church.
Yep.
You know,
40,000. Right.
right. And you're transitioning into a deep seated Southern community.
Yeah.
That's trying to be
more diverse
culturally and more diverse, but culturally relevant to a larger span of people, not just one people type.
Yep. Yeah.
You know, people group, not one people group, but multiple people groups. We talk about people groups when we're looking at a worldwide picture.
Yeah.
But we forget to talk about people groups, that they are literally people groups that are affecting the entire world within each small cities. We deal with this in small towns like this. We're more of a microcosm. You can see things real clearly in small towns. That's why there's no secrets in small towns. They go pretty rapidly.
Yeah.
In larger towns, you can kind of hide a little bit and things like that. But the same secrets and the same struggles are in small towns as there are larger towns, and we forget that. And some people want to go to that larger structure. That man, they'd have been. You only went down to 3,000. We wish we'd get up to 3,000, you know? And, man, that's a really bad situation. You're only at 3,000 now. How did that happen, you know?
Yeah.
But so tell me your best moment in ministry and in life. Either one. Go with both.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, right before I say that, I definitely want to, you know, it's that 3,000 is a big number.
Yeah.
But it's crazy when you see, I mean, because it's a dome and you see something. What
3,000 a dome don't look so good.
Yeah, it's just you go from seeing a movement turn into a moment.
Yeah,
and you're like, whoa.
Which shows how quickly things can turn in life.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
you're healthy, you're running the Olympics, and the next thing your doctor's telling you got cancer.
Right.
I mean, you know, right? So
100%. Okay, best moment.
Best moment. Let's go there. Yeah.
Best ministry moment. Oh, I mean, I've had so many by the grace of God. I would have to say, okay, this is one. I have probably several involving Andy, several involving Reggie, but I would have to say my best one that I'm even thinking about right now is this past January. I got to host the 50th anniversary of Dr. King, his birthday.
Wow.
His And so, or the 50th, it was the commemoration service of his legacy since they started doing it since he passed.
Yes.
And it was just, I mean, it was 3 million views on it. And, I mean,
it's hard to believe that it has been 50 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I was living during that. Obviously, I was 3 days old. I'm joking. But anyway, no, I was in middle school and high school. Middle school during that time, yeah.
Wow.
We remember very distinctly the killings, JFK, of him, and just so much tragedy.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, so it one of the greatest.
But
honors.
a life changer.
Oh yeah. Oh, he changed everything. I mean, Dr. King, man. We don't have time to go into.
No, I mean the whole world's influence. It wasn't the United States set the pace because of him, and then other countries have tried to follow suit and are still trying.
Yeah, I mean
they are now where he was then.
He gave up everything for our world to be better, for me and you to sit here. And,
absolutely.
And I'm grateful for him and his legacy, his sacrifice. So
what was that like? What was it like?
Honors. Oh man, it was just.
Who was there?
His daughter, obviously, his entire family. Some of the cabinet, White House cabinet, the president's cabinet. Ben Carson was there. Who else was there? Robert E. Lee's nephew.
Really?
Yes, was there. And who actually is kind of the opposite of him.
Yeah.
He's a pastor, but he was
well,
up
and
there.
Robert really was struggling. Robert didn't necessarily want to be a part of the South, but he didn't know how to be a part of the North.
I know.
If you look at that history, he was torn.
He had a hard time.
But he was a leader, and so when he made a choice, people don't know that side of the story, or they don't hear about that side of the story.
Oh, 100%. I mean, he, and the more I get my white friends and we talk about all the things, he just, in the history books, he ended up on a different side,
Yes.
But it's cool that now the other side of the story, is being told, so we can see how a man wrestles, and how he was wrestling even in that time, and all of that. So I mean, so it was for me. It was all types of activists, mayor of Atlanta, but to be in that room with all of those people on that stage. I mean, it was broadcast all around Georgia, all around Memphis. Obviously, Facebook Live, let me not say Facebook broadcasted it, and so and YouTube. So it was just millions and millions and millions of views. Just being able to be a part of that moment.
And you're one of the speakers.
I hosted it.
Oh, so, wow, you hosted it.
Yep, I was
unbelievable.
I was presiding. So it was
where was the location again?
It was at the historic Ebenezer, where Martin Luther King pastored.
Oh wow!
Yep.
Oh wow!
They built a newer building right across the street from it, where more people could sit. But it was amazing. So I was introducing folks and trying to connect moments, and
which is one of the things you do. It sounds like that wasn't something you had planned to do, but that's something you just can't help but do.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
Oh man, I want you to meet these guys. These guys are great. You're great. I want you to, right.
Well, and it was Bernice. I mean, it was Bernice King, his daughter, Dr. Bernice King, who called me and said, well, we'd like for you to do this. Would you be open? I said, man, what do you mean?
Exactly.
What are you talking about? Is
that a question?
No, I guess, would you be open? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
One of the greatest honors of my life. So.
How'd your mom and dad feel about all that?
Oh man, they they were at home, which I invited them, but for them, my dad's 83 now. My mom's maybe 70, but they've seen me on so many different stages now. But for them, they were at home just.
She is part of the Black Panther movement because of her first husband and different things like that. So there's just a lot of emotions that have to be going on. But when you see someone like you, your son do so many great things.
Yeah,
I'm sure part of their heart was going, you know what, he should be there. If I'm a parent and I see you as my kid and I've seen what I know that you've done, and I just know a little bit. I bet your parents are just going, no, this is right.
Wow,
this is right. So that's great. The greatest moments. Who is that one influencer? And I'm ADD, so I can go all over the place. This is actually the first question I asked, but we're going back. Who is the number one influencer that just kind of was that aha moment in middle school, high school, or college? That one that you just remember, other than mom and dad, because I know mom and dad were big there. Was there someone in your church, in your school? Who was that person?
Oh man, I had so many mentors that changed my life. Freddie Hendricks to be one, probably the greatest, or I'll go with one of the greatest. He invested the most in me, I'd say. Almost 10, 12 years of my life. He trained actors, singers, dancers. I used to do art. That was my thing. I played 6 instruments in 10th grade.
Really?
Yeah. Before I started speaking, I was music all day. And
I thought I saw on YouTube that you had a song on there, right? That was you. All right,
Lord,
got it.
Don't let people see.
Okay, I won't send them there.
But it is on YouTube. But don't look. But yes. So he took me in at 13, and said, "You've got something special. I want to help harness it. I want to help you shape it." And he's the one that first taught me. Besides my parents, but really, he was really the first one that taught me that greatness was in me.
You know what? King David kind of had that thing going on too. He's really a musician, but they made him a leader. But I think some connection between. It's a full-rounded person.
Right.
That the music, the leadership, the other talents. There's lots of things going on because music. is another language. They said it's like learning a foreign language if you're to read music or perform and that sort of thing. So,
Wow.
so there's a whole nother side to your mind that stretches. I'm going there because I have music background, that sort of thing, and done a lot of studies in those areas. But so tell me, have we covered everything you want to cover in this book, though?
Yeah, I mean, it seemed. Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, I think it's interesting because I didn't know how we were going to flow through it, but I loved it. And even as we get ready to close now, I think everything we talked about in this interview is what's in this book.
That's good.
But I think this interview is the emotional side of the more practical, which is in this. Because I didn't go super. I told stories in here and all of that, but really in Find Your Voice, it's okay. I went through all of this. I met these people. I was rescued here. But what were the principles that I had to put into my life consistently to consistently make the best decision at every turn, so that I did not waste the investments that were made for me and in me. And so I dive into 3 different areas that we need to maximize, or that I maximized in my life, that I think that I see happening, the traits in all the folks that have been incredible. But it's about the kind of the power of influence, 3 different influences in your life that help shape you and help you make the right decisions for you to maximize your potential.
That's a lot. That's a lot in one book. But we are covering the emotional side of some of those things because we are connected by stories. And here's one thing
100%.
that I found, and I learned this through business, and that is facts tell, but stories sell.
Woo.
And stories.
You get a high five on that one.
That's it, brother. Stories are what help us to go deeper and click something in our brain that go, I can do this. Or if they can do it, I can try.
Yeah.
If nothing else. And so I'm excited about seeing the book. I haven't got to read it yet myself. Just got a copy today.
Right, get it to you. Folks, they can get it on Amazon.
Yeah,
right now.
We're nowhere. Yeah.
Or if you just Google Sam Collier, Find Your Voice, you can get it on orangebooks.com. Also on the Think Orange store, all of that. But get on Amazon, all that, and I think it should be, by the time this episode comes out, it should be on Kindle.
Okay.
And it should be everywhere when this comes out. But
Audible?
We're working on that.
Yeah, you need to get Audible, especially since you're a podcaster. Come on.
I am going to work on that. I am working on that. I talked to the publisher 2 days ago. I'm like, hey, are we doing Audible? He was like, yeah. I said, okay, do you need to record it now, or when do you know? So
that's right.
But folks can get it. I mean, if
and youth pastors are going to listen to Audible because we ain't got time to read.
Right.
And we're too slow at reading, but we like to listen.
Yeah. And I also say, we wrote it also with students in mind too.
Yeah.
We wrote it for leaders, but definitely for students, because I wanted, that's why are we in a high school right now?
We are in a high school. We're in a public high school.
That's what I'm saying.
Talking about things that you don't talk about in public high school, right? What an amazing place.
Yeah. And for me, it's so fitting to what this book is even about, because we wanted it to be for students and for leaders that were trying to find their voice. So if you get it for a senior coming right out of high school, it's perfect. You get it for a college student coming right out of college, it's perfect. A young adult, a young leader, or just any leader that's trying to find their way. So,
and we're here because of long-term influence. Maximum influence, long-term care. Those are the main things that I did in ministry, that I was taught to do by campus life and youth guidance. And we're here 30 years later because I just simply connected people like you connect people.
Wow.
And so they have, with
open
open arms, they allow us to be here.
Well, man, I just appreciate you and
appreciate you, Sam.
Everything that you've done, and I'm so excited we got to do this.
Me too. And listen, guys, go and look up real life talk show, right? Real Life TV.
Yep.
Real Life, which is not too many miles from here.
Yeah.
Saw that, and also they have Steve Harvey's interview of you, where they connect you and your siblings and your mom.
Yeah.
And you got to see that. That is just amazing.
Yeah.
So there's lots of things to look up for Sam Collier, Collier. And any other way they can reach you personally if they want to?
Yeah.
How is that?
No, just Sam Collier across all social media platforms. Instagram.
Okay.
I had to buy my Instagram name because somebody had that.
Oh, yeah,
Please. It was actually a high school student. I said,
Yeah.
hey, I'll, and he was trying to overcharge me. I said, wait. but actually, I got to know his story.
Yeah.
And I think he was trying to raise even some more money for college. And so I just gave him the money. I was like, hey,
Wow.
man, take it, And actually, he was like, man, you could just hear. He almost gave it to me for free. I said, you know what? Let me support you here. I think so. You said the power of story.
Yes.
Stories. Did you say
stories sell?
Yeah.
Facts tell, but stories
The
sell.
story sell. Yeah. So hit me up on Instagram. Send me a DM. All of that. Get the book. Get it. Not just for getting its sake, but if you're somebody who's trying to find your voice, or a student or a leader, I want we wrote it for that. I think books are supposed to help.
They are. Get 2 books, one for you and one for someone you're going to give it away to. You got those seniors, you didn't know what to get them. This is what to get them right here in leadership. Sam, we're just so thrilled to have you here. There's too much to talk about. There's so much. We got to do it again. And when I go to Atlanta, you'll probably be in London or Athens or something. But I'll call you when I'm going through Atlanta.
No, we got to eat. We got to eat.
Well, we got to eat in Atlanta. Come on now. There's plenty of places to eat there.
Yeah,
plenty here too, but no time for it.
Hey,
You're in
man.
Lakeland, going to Lakeland now.
Yes,
is that
going to
right?
Lakeland,
Let me tell you
yes.
what. He came here and he is on his way to Lakeland. This is out of the way. And so, okay, Youth Worker Nation, that's it. And you can always catch us on. You can get us on Instagram, but you can find us and hear this episode on YouTube. It'll be out soon, and also on. I knew all those places. I was on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, and also
This is an awesome podcast.
This is hey,
Doug is doing
iHeartRadio,
great
iHeartRadio,
iHeart.
We're on iHeart, yeah. So we're all over the place.
Nice.
All right, man. Youth Worker Nation, we're out. Say, see you, Sam.
Peace.
Peace. We're out.